Yeah. My phone's off. Yeah, it is. I mean, I have to say, you should almost. So. Oh. Okay. These are the great light. Sorry, I won't be doing that.
The volume's off. How was the ocean?
I mean, it was one of the most perfect times I've ever been in it.
Really?
Yeah, it was so warm. It was really peaceful, you know, when it's not too windy. In the sun, it was just so warm. And in a good way. And refreshing.
Salutations and greetings, my friends. The wonderful aloha from Hawaii. Here on the lovely small island of Lanai, with a dear friend who is a golden light meditator. And Jennifer and I and this dear one are meditating up a storm, swimming in this divine ocean, and enjoying the living light here. So, welcome. The essence, of course, is always around the star tetrahedron. There we go. The miracle mechanism of manifestation. And the reason that is called the miracle mechanism is that it creates literally out of consciousness and light a crystalline form. The crystalline form, as it then turns, the upper triangulation of masculine power and the lower triangulation of divine feminine love, it opens the sacred doorway within the heart back into the void. At the center of every galaxy within the universe, there is a gigantic black hole. And from out of that black hole, consciousness has imagined the star systems. So the star system just didn't appear. There had to be a pattern, there had to be image, there had to be a blueprint. And that blueprint is imagination. And so Source has many openings into the universe. We think it was just at the Big Bang that creation happened, but that was the expulsion of consciousness to begin to create light and to begin to manifest the crystalline form of the star tetrahedron, which could then take that which emanated from out of these dark holes and then take the pattern and then image it in with light and awareness into manifestation. And so beautifully, so within a human being, when we are able to hone and refine the star tetrahedron within us by focusing the light of the mind and then imaging it, imagining it, then the open doorway within the heart, this wonderful opening into the void is there. And the star systems that we then choose to create are that which we decide to focus our consciousness upon. And so each galaxy has already been the emanation or the focus of the divine within that particular place of time, space. But human beings are now at the place where we can literally become creator beings ourselves. And so the creator being that created the galaxy and all the star systems, it was done by and through Source. Human beings, when they begin to refine and hone the star tetrahedron, they then become literally creator beings who can summon from inside out within the realms of source anything that they choose to create. And because the star tetrahedron has been manifested through love and through the focusing of the mind into pure silence, everything that we would create would be in alignment with love and service and grace to all creation. And so we could be trusted with all the powers of heaven and earth, so to speak. When I was down at the ocean yesterday, I was watching the waves coming in, the waves going out, and I noticed that as the bright sunlight was shining upon the very calm waves, they were just gently flowing in and gently flowing out. I noticed on the ocean there was a pattern of pure golden rays of light, almost like infinite threads, multiple threads, all connected together. And they would move, and the threads would flow, and they would go in, and they would go out, according to the gentleness of the wave pattern above it. It was the sunlight flowing through the gentle wave pattern that then created to be manifest within the ocean floor. They were all interconnected and all interwoven as these beautiful golden threads of energy. So, in a similar way, humanity is very much like that. The light shines, which is the light of your soul. The imagination of the soul is creating a web of golden sunlight and peace that is always present, always flowing. It never goes away. It will always be there. It is the divine and sacred being you always have been and always will be. It's just that we have not yet, most of us, come into the recognition of that. So the other thing I saw with those wave patterns is that when a larger wave came in, it pulled a bunch of silt and sand back out. And as it did, all of the golden webs of living light upon the ocean floor, they disappeared. But they didn't really go anywhere. They were simply obscured, covered over by the silt that blocked the sunlight from which was already shining through the wave form to create itself to be a living reality because the obscuration was happening. And so within humanity, it's often the same way. It's our emotions and our lack of clarity that creates the obscuration, the emotional feelings that are within us that block the purity of the golden soul simply flowing in harmony and in union with all the living web of light that is underlying all creation simultaneously. So it's not that it ever goes away, it simply gets obscured. And so for each of us, as we learn to quiet the mind, which is the focusing of the light, we hold our wave form in imagination with love and peace and joy, feelings of prosperity. That then becomes the manifestation, the golden reality that we see within this dimension. It came forth into this dimension because the waveform of consciousness that we were holding that is pure and harmonized. When we have obscure thoughts and feelings, then we experience that as things in our lives that are out of balance. So it behooves us to be ever more clear and dynamic that when we train the mind through our meditation practice to be a silent instrument, we've been able to move inside and find the emotions and feelings that keep us obscured and separate from truly loving ourselves. When we love ourselves, we're living in the waveform of golden harmony and peace, interlaced and interwoven throughout all creation. So in one way, it's a very simple thing. We make it very complex because the mind gets so caught up in ideas and beliefs. And then when the mind focuses upon something in the world that we dislike or we judge or we criticize, It then makes it manifest within the obscuration, within the silt, and we think something terrible is happening. But in fact, it's simply the consciousness of humanity that over time has been focusing their emotions and feelings in ignorance. But beneath it, if the obscuration stops, if everything comes back to peace and harmony, once again, the golden web of living light is interlaced in beauty and peace and in harmony. So, in one way, when we look out of the world and we see all of the travail that's going on, it's just that which has been the consciousness of humanity that has been growing and unfolding and learning about power and manipulation and control. So it's kind of like created a mass miasma, a mass obscuration of silt that is covering over and hiding what is really always there, which is this golden web of living light from the divine above, shining through the purity of the soul we are, the Christed being, which then creates it to be manifest within physical form. But because there is such a now gathering of the silt and dust, when we focus on it and we dislike it, it then hardens it into more dense layers. And then it's even more difficult for the light to shine through it. When we change our focus and we come back to focusing upon joy and peace, it then creates another wave of harmony and joy above. The light shining through begins to empower that to then be the living light that flows into this dimension. So we as humanity are being asked to change our awareness dramatically, to move it away from things that we think are out of balance, that we think are distasteful, because it's been simply a gathering of energy over eons and eons of time, now coming to a crescendo. The crescendo looks very, very difficult, I agree, but it's now the movement from the Piscean age of manipulation control into the Aquarian age of feminine joy and imagination. And we know, all of us who are really on this path of illumination, that is happening quite rapidly. In the rapidness of the rise of light, though, it's also illuminating that which is the unconscious, the silt, the obscuration of what is then the old paradigm. Don't focus upon it, don't dislike it, don't judge it. Come back to being the living light. And so this is a very beautiful analogy of what the man Jesus was able to do. He absolutely knew that everything was literally this web of golden living light throughout all creation. One individual human could be holding the silt of obscuration around them that we would call dis-ease. He didn't try and change the disease. He didn't try and get rid of it. He didn't dislike it nor judge it. He simply changed his attention, the focusing of consciousness, to that which is the perfection of the golden web of light that is really God's love and joy moving throughout all creation. As he focused that individually on a person, it ignited that golden web back into light, and they could no longer hold their obscuration of dis-ease. But then he said, go forth and sin no more. Gather no more obscuration of emotions and feelings and anger and frustration, or your golden web will fall away. You will experience dis-ease within the physical form. The silt will be moving, the silt will be flowing, and you'll dislike the silt tremendously. But where did it come from? From the consciousness that was focused upon that which is the negative. We are here to dramatically change that narrative. So that's why we gather together in this wonderful opportunity to truly enliven and to quicken the light within. I agree it's somewhat easier in a place like Hawaii where everything is peace and joy, or Carmel, or even Carbondale. But at the same time, that's our joy, that's our choice, that's what we are planning, and that's what we are honing and refining ourselves to do, to be the light emissaries that travel through the world, no matter where we go, no matter what we are doing and what we see, we look beneath the illusion, because it is an illusion. It is the silt and the obscuration over time that humanity has built up, that we simply begin to dissolve by not disliking it or judging it, but seeing that which is the good, the true, and the beautiful beneath. So, very exciting time on the planet. Of course, the energy around the star tetrahedron, we know that we always enliven the essence of the quality through our breath work. The reason that is so, because when we're breathing, spirit is literally the breath of life. And so when we're breathing in deeply, we're not so much breathing in oxygen. That's feeding the physical bodies and the tissues of our physical form. They need the oxygen. But when we open the sacred doorway within the heart, we're literally breathing source, spirit from inside out. And then when we have the star tetrahedron in movement, it makes it quite easy, quite effortless to be able to then see and feel source arising forth, touching the facets of the spinning star and spinning out liquid energy all around us. It's that light that flows out into the world and creates waves of harmony and peace. So let's do about 5 minutes of deep breath work. Once again, as you're doing deep belly breathing, it's really from the open doorway within the heart that you're summoning and calling spirit into this dimension. We like to have the spine nice and straight. It is the rod of initiation that connects us above to Father Sky and beneath to the divinity of Mother Earth. Once again, masculine, feminine, being united within the heart. And with each gentle exhale, you're observing, you're imagining sparkling, effervescent golden light flowing through every cell and tissue, flowing out into the world. I am the light. Breathing in deeply. Feeling the breath of spirit arising forth, an open doorway. And with each gentle exhale, sparkling, effervescent light through every cell and tissue, flowing out into the world. I bring peace to earth. Spine nice and straight. You can imagine a string at the top of the head gently pulling you up. Deep breath, calling source. The exhale, just like the physical sun, I am the light. And a couple of more deep belly breathing. Summoning source from the open doorway. And then very easily now, we can begin to allow ourselves to come back into the moment. And when it's comfortable, to open the eyes. The imaging of the star tetrahedron, we want to be observant that it's not a trying, that I'm not trying to use my mind to make it. It's kind of like when you walk into a very dark room. You simply turn on the light and the whole room is illuminated. It's the same that we want to bring this kind of feeling to the star tetrahedron. I'm simply holding the mind steady. It's the light of attention. I simply imagine, I simply image in the triangulation above, the triangulation below. It's an image feeling. The feeling may be stronger than the image. Over time, they become more united. As we then imagine and feel the upper triangulation moving and the lower triangulation moving, we can feel it opening the sacred doorway within the area of the heart chakra. And then with each in-breath, source is arising forth as pure liquid golden light and flowing out into the world as we truly do bring peace on earth. So let's close the eyes and feel the body relaxing. And we can be aware of the breath. And with each gentle inhale, we feel the body relaxing. Breath is life, and I am letting go. I already am the purity of golden sunlight and peace. And the body relaxes. Let's bring our attention between the eyebrows, imagining that we draw a line straight back. And within the approximate center point of the head, we ignite the light. And holding attention here, we can feel the light increasing. filling the mind with pure golden light and peace. We gently focus the light to the heart chakra at the sternum, where we illuminate what already exists, the magic of the star tetrahedron. And as it turns and moves in perfection and harmony, it opens the sacred doorway within the heart. Arising forth the purity of spirit, touching the facets of the spinning star to become nuclear radiance. Just like the physical sun, I am the light. I will join with you, and we'll all gather together in the living light. And then very easily now, slowly coming back. More and more into the moment. And when it feels comfortable, to slowly open the eyes. So, of course, as we practice our meditation, again, no trying, but simply observing, just as you watch the mind observe anything, you watch it observe the imagination. From the open doorway, golden sunlight and peace are rising forth. So we'll see you in 2 weeks, my friends, and thank you for coming to Hawaii. We'll all come on the same plane next time. All right. Aloha. Thank you.